All right, hello and welcome to the weather update. It is 9:30 on February 2nd, 2023. Get ready for the bit of cold. If you're looking at the map here, you see all the blue and everything. That's all related to this bitterly cold air mass. And it looks like I see some lake effect snow squall warnings up. There are snow squall warnings up for upstate New York as well. So I guess we'll first start with the satellite image from today, and you'll see we did have some sunshine today. And look north, there's the Arctic front. There it is, right there. Clearly see it right there. There it is. Look at it. So as far as today goes, we had some high clouds from time to time and a period of sunshine. I did actually get to see a few pines for a little bit before these clouds kind of rolled in pretty quickly. They rolled in pretty quickly. You'll see here, at least these cirrus and cirrostratus clouds kind of came in and rolled in on us. So you can sort of see, again, that Arctic front. Just refresh this again so we can, let me just make a regular. I don't want a long loop. All right, so you got to see the long loop. Just to mark out where that Arctic front is because it's very easy to see. Here it is right here. You can spot it very, very easily here. Put that blue in. Actually, I'll put the bluish purple in there because it's so cold. I don't think it like that. But this is it right here. So that's your Arctic front right there. Here's the Arctic air that's going to be coming straight down from eastern Canada. And it will be arriving around sunrise tomorrow. You can see it's already in parts of upstate New York already. And this is going to bring a big drop in temperatures along with some pretty strong winds as well. And again, very impressive to see. This Arctic front coming through, and if we look at the current radar here, you see there are actually snow squalls with this Arctic front that are approaching parts of upstate New York. There's one around Oswego, Rochester, upstate New York. So this is probably going to fall apart. We're not going to see any snow squalls, but that's why when I went to this, I'm showing you all this going on. So you have freezing spray warnings in effect for the lakes. Wind chill advisories we actually have wind chill warnings for interior parts of New England, and wind chill advisories posted north of the city and also for eastern Suffolk County. All right, that's from 5 a.m. Friday to 9 a.m. Saturday. And here are the snow squall warnings. They're going to be issued, and they're going to be going till around 10 o'clock tonight. So there are the snow squall warnings. So they're getting some pretty intense snow squalls over there right now with this Arctic front. Just for fun. Let's just see if there's any lightning with it because you never know. So see the temperatures of those lakes being the way they are. There's going to be lake effect as well, but I don't see any lightning detections here. So let's go to our current temperatures outside right now. This will kind of show you where the Arctic front is too as well. So temperatures 36 degrees at Islip today was maybe just a smidge above normal. Temperatures did probably make it up to 40 degrees today. Let's see if they did actually make it up there. They maybe got close. I don't think so. Maybe close to normal for the day. After lows at night probably got into the 20s. And some of the areas probably got even colder than that. But you can see the southwesterly winds being reported at Islip. But if we go and we look up to the north here, this is where we're going to have to deal with this Arctic air. So there's your Arctic front right here. We got some readings from Canada already. So on the other side of the Arctic front, Ottawa is still 23. But once you go north of that, you can see it drops 7 degrees. And then you go north and west of the Arctic front. You can see teens over here in the UP of Michigan, single digits. So this is all coming our way. And you can also see that the winds are gusting pretty strong as well. So this is all in relation to that storm. So let's go to the Weather Prediction Center. And you can see this low pressure center right here is intensifying. And it's pulling down all the cold air. This Arctic air, you can see there's the Arctic front marked on the map right there. And when we go to the National Weather Service, they do have a briefing about this cold. So this is the overview again for Friday. Temps dropping through the teens during the day. Friday night to Saturday morning, low temps 0 to 5 degrees below zero for southern Connecticut and interior Hudson Valley, 0 to 10 degrees for Long Island and most of New Jersey and New York City metro. So we should get close to zero Friday night. And then if you're further north, and then you couple the wind chills. So when you figure the wind chills, it could feel like 30 below in interior southeastern Connecticut, and for eastern Long Island and the lower Hudson Valley, Western Passaic, and the rest of Connecticut, coastal Connecticut, 15 below to 25 below is what the wind chill is going to make it feel like. And from New York City and New Jersey metro and western Long Island, 5 below to 15 below. So a lot of people just aren't, prepared for this, and it's going to be a shock after all the warm weather we've had. And then some of the other areas have wind chill warnings where it's going to get even colder. This is sort of like what their Friday night. Friday night is going to be the worst of it, where this is their low temperature forecast, but it could get colder than that, especially when you factor in the wind chill, of course. And you can see some wind gusts gusting up to close to 40 miles an hour. So yeah, this is going to be pretty cold air mass, but it's going to be a very quick shot of this cold air mass. Again, there is your Arctic front right there, and again, you can sort of see it on this site as well. So let's put our highs and lows on the map right now. So we'll take a look at our highs first, and you'll see highs generally close to normal, upper 30s, low 40s in Jersey. So probably close to normal today. Today was an average day for this time of the year. And then if we go to the lows, you'll see most areas had lows in the 20s, but you'll notice, again, if you look at the Pine Barrens areas here, 18 in the New Jersey Pine Barrens, and yes, West Hampton got down to 12 degrees there. Show that, 12 degrees. Again, always the coldest spot, West Hampton. They always get very good radiational cooling there in the West Hampton dwarf pines. Definitely, one of my favorite places because of that, for the obvious reasons. With that all out of the way, I guess we'll go and look at the weather maps. And again, if we go back to the weather and hazards, they had a pretty bad ice storm here. So if we go, we'll just pull this out here. Pull this out. Let's pull this out a little more so you get to see. So they had a pretty bad ice storm in the south in Texas. This is what's left of it now. It's mostly rain over the southeast. We're not going to see any of that. That's just the system that's bringing us the high clouds. But it did cause a lot of damage, and there are a lot of power outages as a result of that. So you'll see here, deadly multi-day ice storm causes treacherous travel and leaves hundreds of thousands without power. So yeah, there's the power is out in a lot of areas, and due to the ice, falling on the power lines, the trees, the ice coating the power lines, pulling them down. Also, the ice pulling trees down on top of power lines. Texas hit very hard, 287,828 people without power. This is one of the worst ice storms they've ever seen. You can see it's not the whole state, but it's a certain area, I guess, from I think there's Austin. Yeah, Austin and eastward is getting affected pretty bad, and you can see a lot of these counties have pretty significant power outages. It's also affecting Arkansas now. Oh my gosh, look at Arkansas. So large areas of Arkansas look like they're completely without power. Could be transmission system damage with those kind of numbers in Arkansas. And then also affecting northern Mississippi as well. So it's a pretty bad ice storm that occurred. You have very shallow cold air, and the rain was falling into it and freezing. And this air mass we're getting actually is shallow. It's not a deep cold air mass, because we're going to look at the models, and I guess we'll do that next. So let's go to the high. Let's go and take a look at what's going to be happening now. So there's your Arctic front right there. See it moving through tomorrow morning. High pressure over the northwestern Great Lakes, building southeastward, and kind of building over our area. Here we are Saturday, and then quickly sliding offshore. So by Sunday, this is all out of here. And we have much warmer weather, and then we'll be above normal once again. So it's going to be a quick blast of winter. But you can see here, this big high here building in, and you can see how tight those isobars are, which means one thing, lots and lots of wind. So let's now go and look at the HRRR model, 0Z HRRR. Let's go to that. And as far as you see, this is the Arctic front right here. You can sort of see the snow squalls, but they fall apart by the time they get here. So chances are all we'll see are some clouds, and that's it. And then you can see the isobars tighten during the day tomorrow. If you want to take a boat and if you really want snow, if you're way offshore, you're going to get snow squalls. And maybe even parts of the Cape and eastern Long Island might see some snow showers too later tomorrow night perhaps. You can see, look at that. That's incredible to see. But you'll see the winds quickly die off by the time we get to Saturday morning. The winds lighten substantially, and the wheels turn to the west to the southwest. And that wind direction is all that important, because if it's more of a westerly component with the wind, it won't be quite as bitterly cold as if the wind was directly from the north. So that's another thing to keep in mind as well. It's still going to be cold, but it could be worse, because you'll see what's going to be taking place just to our north as far as air temperatures go. It's going to be pretty bone chilling. All right, so here's the dew point and wind flow chart, and you can see here west winds overnight. We have the west winds, but then look what happens as we get to it tomorrow morning. Winds turn northwesterly, and we have dew points drop very quickly. And you can see northwest winds, very strong northwest winds, and you'll see here northwest winds again. But you'll see that wind stay northwesterly. All right, you won't see it become northerly. So the bitterest of the stuff stays over New England. All right, if the winds were north, this would have come right down on us, and it would have been even colder. All right, but instead of having dew points that will go like to 30 below zero, we'll have dew points that'll be somehow between like -10 or something, like -10 and -15 probably, with the northwest wind there. All right. And then during the day Saturday, you'll see the winds slack off. It's only a little breezy in the morning, but by the afternoon, the winds slack off and become more westerly. And you can see this air mass already start to retreat pretty quickly. All right. So let's now look at the actual air temperatures. And air temperatures, again, here we go. Overnight, we'll probably have temperatures getting into the probably mid to upper 20s. But then it's going to be warmer tonight than it's going to be during the day tomorrow. So once the sun rises, this front moves through, temperatures drop through the 20s into the teens. I think by afternoon, I think we'll have temperatures probably in the upper teens, specifically, again, all over Long Island. And this is the HRRR, and it's a little colder with the air. Even with the northwest wind, it wants to actually bring us close to 0 degrees Saturday morning. And I think there's a potential for that. Again, with the northwest wind, it's a little harder to do that, but the models are saying that this might be overdoing it a little bit. We'll have to see. But again, you'll see here temperatures definitely single digits when you get up Saturday morning for sure. With a little less wind, but it's still going to feel pretty cold. And then for Saturday, starting off cold, but then you might be in the teens in the morning and the early afternoon. But by later in the afternoon, the temperatures actually get warmer as the day goes on. Temperatures will probably get up into the mid to upper 20s. And then at night, we'll have to see what happens, how much cloud cover we have, because we could see some pretty good radiational cooling. And still, some of the colder spots could get below 0, perhaps. This is, again, the zeros, the HRRR is all we got of it. Obviously, it only goes out so far. So let's now move this over to the GFS, the 0Z GFS, which we still have the 18Z in. Let's see if we have the FV3 to work with. All right, we have the FV3 to work with, so I'll use the FV3. It's a higher resolution of the GFS anyway, which is better to use. So this is the FV3. Let's move this over to dew points. So, it doesn't really give us a lot for the dew points, but we'll look at the temperatures. All right, so here are the air temperatures tomorrow, and you can see GFS not quite as cold as the HRRR. It depends where you are. If you're over in New Jersey, it seems like it's a little warmer. Long Island gets in a little colder. But you can see it doesn't really bring this white shade as far as south as the others because of that northwesterly wind versus a northerly wind. So we'll have to see. Do we get below 0 on Long Island Saturday morning? Only if the winds are more northerly. I think if we have northwesterly wind, I think we'll just have low single digits, which is still pretty damn cold. And then that's as much as we got of the HRRR model. If we want to go further, we'd have to go look at the regular GFS model. All right, which isn't going to give us as much frames here to work with. All right, but you'll see as we get to Saturday, you'll see that it starts to moderate quite a bit, and then Sunday, obviously, we're back into the 40s again. So yeah, it's going to be a really quick shot, and I'll put the dew points in wind flow on to show you again. Winds northwesterly. If they were more northerly, if it was a straight northerly wind, it would be a lot colder, or more of a but it's more of a northwesterly wind. So that is why it may not get to that into that record-breaking territory. We'll have to see. I don't know what the record is for that day. But you'll see here, pretty dry air in place for Saturday. You see the wind slack off light northwesterly and then become southwesterly. And then after that, we're not gonna really. Maybe we'll talk about the long range a little more later in this weather update. But I'm kind of focused on this right now. So I guess the next thing to do is to look at one more model, maybe. I think we've been through enough of the models, but we'll go to one more, the NAM 12. Again, because this will give us more. Well, actually, let's go to the NAM 3 because I want to go back to the dew points and wind flow. And this is the 0Z run of the NAM 3. So this is the NAM 3, and you can see there's that front coming through. These are the dew points and wind flow. So again, they pretty much agree on that northwesterly wind versus a northerly wind. So that means that the worst of it is going to be north and east of us as far as the cold goes. And again, if we look at the actual air temperatures, we'll move this over, you'll see that I think that we will start off again in the 20s, but I still think by afternoon we're going to see teens, single digits by after sunset, and then it's going to depend on how low it goes. We're not going to probably get any radiational cooling, so probably figure lows in the low single digits. It's still going to be pretty damn cold. We'll have to see if we get below zero or not. It's going to be a pretty intense shot of cold air. Because Saturday morning is going to, if you love the cold weather, you better get up early Saturday morning and enjoy it. That's all I'm going to say, because it's going to be pretty cold. But then during the day, you can see it kind of lifts out a little bit. We rise through the teens, maybe even making it into the 20s again by later in the afternoon. That's more likely in New Jersey versus Long Island, I think, at this point. And we can look at precipitation, too, and see if this is generating any snow shower activity at all. It is not, but I would not be surprised to see snow showers over eastern Long Island. I would say you could even see snow showers or flurries even if you're east to, say, the Sagatos or the Sunken Meadow, perhaps, because that Long Island Sound is pretty warm, and that's going to create a lot of instability. I don't think the model's picking that up very well. So I guess now we'll go and look at the clouds. And this is where it's really hard to predict what's going to happen. So this is the NAM. All right, so the NAM has some clouds to start, particularly over New Jersey. It doesn't have any clouds over Long Island, which doesn't seem quite right because, again, with that warm water in the Long Island Sound, you'd think at least it would develop some cloudiness. And then as we move into, you see it does it later on in the evening, where it actually does develop some clouds and actually has make a remnant of a lake effect going over the parts of the Hudson Valley and then emerging over the Long Island Sound, perhaps dropping some snow, perhaps maybe over part of Suffolk County there. Perhaps, again, I think the model might be underdoing that. But then for Saturday, starting off sunny, but then we got to watch for the high clouds coming in. So these are higher level clouds coming in. That here. So if we go and we look at high cloud fraction, actually no, those aren't high clouds. Those might just be like they're mid-level clouds. Okay, they're mid-level clouds. And the reason why we'll actually look at this in a moment, because what we want to do actually is look at the soundings. So there's a thing called soundings. So we can look at this and say, all right, let's start with 11 a.m. tomorrow, right? So then when you look at this sounding over Long Island, you'll see these are pretty far apart. All right. Look at it over New Jersey. They're also pretty far apart. All right. And that's why you don't see any clouds forming. All right. Now for Saturday, as we get toward the middle of the day here, if this will load, you'll see that in the mid-levels we have a lot of humidity. So that could mean more clouds there. All right. So, and again, every model is different. So now if we go and we look at the FV3 model, which is the high-resolution GFS, which, yeah, we're not going to have enough of with clouds, but maybe I can use it with something else. Soundings may not be available that far out, but let's see. we can at least get some soundings off this. So we'll go to noon tomorrow. Let's see. And it may not be available. Okay, we have some of it. Okay, so you see what's going on here. You see how these two lines are very close together at the stratocumulus level height. That's why there might be a lot of stratocumulus around tomorrow. This is, again, this is not even, this is like not even noon. So let's move this ahead to noon. And you'll see, so it's very hard to forecast for clouds tomorrow. This is going to be tricky. This is going to be tricky. All right. Now, if you're over New Jersey, let's see, doing any better there, or you can see that they're close together there. So that's something we have to watch for. If we see that cloud deck develop, and as far as we get into the evening here, here's the evening, overnight. Probably will clear out in the evening. Oh, nope, it's showing cloud cover over Long Island. This is again around 10 o'clock or so. Let's see about New Jersey. Is it showing cloud cover there? It's close, but not quite showing cloud cover there yet. Then we move it into, all right, we're kind of missing some of Saturday here, but we'll move it into 14Z Saturday here. I may have to go back to the regular GFS, and you'll see that mid-level moisture there. You kind of see it there. So that's why, will we actually get any clear skies with this air mass? I can't say for sure. Let me go and look at the regular GFS, all right, which doesn't have 15Z, it goes from 12Z to 18Z. But we can look at this on here as well, and you'll see the same thing. Look at that, that's almost definite mid-level cloud cover, and this is around early afternoon Saturday, and same thing for New Jersey. So we may have to deal with mid-level cloud cover on Saturday, perhaps. Sunday, I meant for Friday. I mean, it's looking like Friday would have the better skies than Saturday right now at this point. We're talking a lot about the skies, but nobody else does. So let's now go to the RGEM model, and we'll look at the clouds here. All right, this is probably the more realistic solution. So you see all that lake effect debris coming in and forming stratocumulus level clouds for many areas tomorrow on this. And then as far as we get towards Saturday, you'll see we'll start off with sun, but then we'll have to watch this mid to high level cloudiness here. And this doesn't give us the soundings. But that's when I see the soundings, I'm kind of concerned about a cloud cover issue. So as far as getting those nice blue skies, I can't say for sure if we're going to see them or not. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But it's iffy. It's really hard to predict what's going to happen. And I think the more of a northwest wind we have tomorrow, the more likely we're going to see some of that stratocumulus level moisture coming off the lakes. If it was a due north wind, we'd probably have a nice crystal clear sky, but we don't. So, and those lakes are very warm, and the models are even underestimating that, as well as the Long Island Sound as well. So that's why I don't have all much hope. And then as we go into Sunday, you'll see we'll be dealing with more high clouds. So yeah, it's going to be hard to say whether it'll be a clear day tonight. Even though they say mostly sunny, it may be more like partly sunny tomorrow and partly sunny Saturday, yeah, despite what they say. Because if you go to the Weather Service here and you click the forecast for out Suffolk County, it'll say chance of flurries, mostly sunny, right? And then it'll say Saturday, sunny. But models don't say that's what's going to happen, all right? So that's the issue we have. That's what makes it hard to predict what's going to happen. So now that we got through all this, and again, it's going to be cold. So let's again take a look at. We'll go back to the HRRR model. I think the HRRR might be a little too cold. So let me go to the NAM. I think it's a little less. Or we'll just use the GFS. Or, yeah, let's use the GFS. Well, it's an older model. So we'll go to the NAM 3. All right. So the NAM has a tendency to run colder, but I want something a little. So just to show you the cold air. So if you're north, if you're really like Boston, you're below zero for sure. When you go north of the city, you'll get below zero. And then the further north you go, man, if you're in Plattsburgh, I'm jealous. You're going to be like 20 below zero. Albany, you're going to probably be like between 5 to 10 below zero. Parts of Maine as well. And then as far as your highs on Saturday go, temperatures will be increasing through the day, but you're going to be below zero probably until noon probably. So yeah, this is going to be this is a quick cold shot. It's very transient. So let's now go and we'll switch this back to the GFS, and now we'll go and we'll look at the longer range a little bit, just a little bit. We covered it a little bit, and you can sort of see actually before we do that, you can sort of see where this cold air is coming from. It's coming right from Greenland. Look at that. There it is, coming right down. You can see it's just a glancing blow, and then it pulls out, and then we don't really see any more cold air again. So that's the problem. So this is all because of what's going to be happening with the jet stream. So let's go to 250 MB wind here and look at our jet stream. So as we go into tomorrow, you'll see there's the trough, and you can see the way it's oriented, pulling that air right from eastern Canada and almost Greenland. And then as quick as it goes, it's out of here, and then we get more ridging again. Then the little weak trough Monday, it's not going to do much. No connection to any cold air there. And then you see this flow that we have here. No troughs in the east. It's kind of just a zonal flow. It looks like there's a trough there through the middle of the month that may give us some promise, perhaps. At least we don't have the fire hose. It almost looks like the fire hose. It looks like almost a split jet stream here, though, as you see. All right, so now let's go to the upper air, and I'm just sticking to the GFS in this. You'll see there's that. Look at that deep thing. I mean, that's crazy. There it is tomorrow, but it's transient. It's out. So that's why I say you want the cold. You better enjoy it because we're going to have to deal with a lot of ridging in the east, not a whole lot of troughs. You can see the trough just wants to be in the west. That's the problem. Though it's trying to develop some ridging over Greenland, which would help get some cold air over us. But let's now go and look at your CONUS view, and we'll go to our surface map. Actually, we'll do our temperature anomaly map briefly first, just to show you this bit of. There it is, right there. It's in, and it's out, and it's gone. And then after that, we got to deal with more warm weather again, above normal for at least right through the early part of February. And then maybe it shows some colder air, possibly trying to get here, but it won't be bitterly cold air. And as far as snow goes, yeah, if you're looking for snow, it's not too good. So here we go, looking at the surface map. That moves out quickly, and then we have a low that kind of stays offshore. So at least we won't have to deal with any rain. We'll have fair weather Monday, and then the next chance for rain would be with a weak cold front on Wednesday. High pressure builds in, and then that low goes over the Great Lakes. You know the deal, rain, and then another. This could be perhaps a soaker. Again, that low kind of tracks over us. You can see the ridge in the Atlantic there. That's not going to favor any snow for us at all. And yeah, it's developing something here. But I mean, if you look, and again, if we just go and we look at total snowfall here on this here, let's just go to total snowfall, and you'll see there's nothing for us. You have to go way up into New England. There's nothing. I mean, it's just pathetic, isn't it? It really is. It really is. So this is why when we go to the Climate Prediction Center and we go to the 6 to 10 day outlook, unfortunately, you see what's going on. And it does have us above normal precipitation too. So it does think that we're going to get some more soakers. But you can see here, well above normal for the east. Look at this. I mean, this is just, and then above normal on the 8 to 14 day too. So, this is like the non-winter. You get one little quick burst of winter, and that's it. Not even any snow, but at least we're getting some cold. But it's only going to be for like barely 36 hours, and it's out of here. It's like, this is just awful, awful. So, like I said, you like the cold, get out there and enjoy it, because it's going to be gone before you can say cold, because it's going to be in and it's going to be out like that. This year has just been absolutely awful this winter, and it's very disturbing. But at least we're getting some a little bit of cold. So get out there and enjoy it before we deal with the warmth. And once again, it's absolutely nuts. What can I say? So that's going to wrap up this weather update, I guess. So again, and as far as the winds go, we'll just go to the windy.com site. I guess I should have looked at this too, and we'll just go to the wind gusts, because we're going to be dealing with those wind gusts, and that's what's going to make it feel pretty chilly. So if we look at noon tomorrow, you could see winds gusting up to 40 miles an hour, and then those wind gusts continue into the evening. They actually get worse. We have wind gusts up close to 50 on the east end. So it's going to be Friday night is going to be absolutely brutal with the wind chills between that and the temperatures. And then you can see you can see northwest wind flow. The winds do drop off quite a bit once we get to Saturday. So Saturday morning we'll still have a little wind, but I think Saturday It's actually going to feel better than Friday because the winds will be less, even though it might actually be a little colder. So here's your actual temperature. And look at this. So this is the European. Again, being a little colder here. 4 degrees Saturday morning. That's what we're expecting. And then as far as Friday goes here, 2 o'clock, you can see we're already in the teens. So, yeah, here's 6 a.m. tomorrow. So, again, starting off already. And then we're just going to be dropping as the day goes on. Dropping and dropping and dropping as the day goes on. 22 by 2 o'clock. Could even be colder than that. And then for Saturday, we'll actually moderate a little bit here. But Long Island may still only be in the teens for Saturday. Jersey may make it up into the 20s, but Long Island will only be in the teens. And we go and look at the clouds here. You can sort of see those sort of mid-level clouds there. This is the European model. It actually has less clouds for tomorrow. So go figure. So, again, the model's kind of all over the place here when it comes to cloud cover. It's going to be hard to predict. But again, I plan on getting out there and enjoying that cold air because I want winter, and I'm gonna enjoy these 2 days of winter that I have in 2023 and early 2023 because we may not have to wait until next year to feel that kind of cold again. So that's gonna wrap up this weather update. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.